Time for our cup of Joe. When I think black, I think of charcoal. Well, let me tell you an interesting story. A few years ago, I was approached by a couple who had an interesting idea for a commercial product, and they wanted some advice. They said, "Isn't it true that charcoal can absorb odors?" I said, "Yes, that's true, but you've got the word a little bit wrong. It's not absorb, it's adsorb. It can attract substances to its surface. Absorb is when water goes into a sponge, for example. Adsorb would be when you pick something up with a magnet. It's a surface phenomenon. Anyway, charcoal can be activated by heating it to a high temperature in the absence of air, and that permeates each little grain with channels. So it has a huge surface area where all kinds of substances indeed can be attracted. So, what was their idea? Uh, it seems that they were bothered by the scent of flatulation. And their idea was to make underwear that had charcoal embedded in it. And the idea was that it would adsorb the smells. So we hashed this out and talked about it, and I said, it's possible charcoal does have that property. I said, look, there are actually commercial materials like this. You can get a little bag of charcoal that will adsorb smells, and it really works quite well because the surface area is so huge. So we talked about this, and they said, well, is it possible to kind of embed the charcoal into the underwear so that if you pass gas, which may be offensive to people around you, it can be neutralized by the charcoal? And I said, yeah, in theory, this is a possibility, but I wasn't sure how viable this would be as a commercial item. Anyway, interesting little story because charcoal indeed is used. It's used in all kinds of air filters. It is used to purify water, so it certainly has the ability to do this. But the question was, how do you infuse it into underwear? And I said, I wasn't really knowledgeable about how you do that. And I suggested that they go to a fabric designer and talk it over. I'm not sure what happened. I never heard back from them again. But it was an interesting idea. So that's why when I see black, I think of charcoal. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.